So I got to figure out what's for lunch today, and I thought I would try a new tactic. Ask the 5-year-old. Natalie, what do you want for lunch today?
Make me Tom Yum.
Tom Yum?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, so Tom Yum. It's a Thai dish, and it is a soup. So there's a lot of different types of Tom Yum. Today I'm gonna make the shrimp version, but it's gonna start with some lemongrass. And the thing with lemongrass is it's tough to work with only because it's hard. And in order to get the goodness out of this, you gotta cut it and then you gotta hit it in order to get the oils to release. So I just cut off these ends that look all dirty and gross, and I get rid of those. And then I take off the top layer, and you're left with like a pretty clean looking piece of lemongrass. So once we get all of these cleaned up, we will then just take these and we're gonna give them a good whack with the back of the knife. So I like to cut them into pieces about, I don't know, that big right there. And this is gonna give a nice lemony flavor. Tom Yum itself is amazing. It's what I make for my family when people start to get sick. It's like a miracle soup, in my opinion. I love it. Anytime I'm starting to get a cold or I feel under the weather, or if it's just like a gross day, like a wet, cold, gross day like it is today, it's just such a good soup. It's packed with umami flavor, and I just can't say enough good things about it, to be honest. So we're gonna put some water in a pot. Like, that's how easy this is. It's just gonna be like water that we infuse with some lemongrass and some ginger to start. And then we're going to take some shrimp. We're gonna put all that in there. So once you get this kind of where it needs to be, we're just gonna give it a couple of good whacks just to kind of break through the skin just a bit. And you can see these crack open like that. Careful not to throw it all over your kitchen. That's it, right? We'll set that aside. Then we'll take ginger. I don't even bother peeling it because, again, this is gonna be all fished out once we get to where we're going. So this is just gonna flavor the broth. So literally just rough chops of ginger. We're gonna add some ginger. We're gonna add some lemongrass. Really, it's entirely up to you and your taste and your family's preference. I like to go kind of hard on the ginger. So we'll put this in. I by no means will claim that my version of this Tom Yum is authentic. This is just how I make it at my house for my family. So we're here. Ginger, lemongrass. We're literally gonna take this and just put it into a pot of water, and we're gonna bring that up to a boil, and we're gonna start letting that infuse. That's really step one. So we throw this stuff in the water. I have the pot over here out of view. You can't see it. Our pot's up. Next piece, we're making a shrimp version of this. So that means we need shrimp, but not any shrimp. We want the head-on, the good stuff, because we are gonna take all of the shells, and we're gonna use the shells to infuse into that broth. So I've got these fancy head-on shrimp here, and I cannot stress this enough. I know that this may seem gross to some people, and I mean, you're just gonna have to deal, right? It's so good, it's perfect. So we're literally gonna pull the heads off of these shrimp, and you can see that mustard, that good mustard right there. Don't be grossed out, I'm telling you, this is what gives it all that flavor. So we're gonna take that head, we're gonna toss that right in our pot. We're gonna peel all these shrimp, and we're gonna put all of the peels into the pot of water with that lemongrass and that ginger, and we're gonna let this cook for about 30 minutes. And that is really going to infuse a bunch of amazing seafood flavor right into the base of the soup that we're gonna make. And really, that's step one. I added 1 pound of all of the shells and head of the head-on shrimp. I also have that ginger, and I also have that lemongrass. That's all that's in here, and you can already see all of the flavor starting to come out of those shrimp heads. And man, if you could just smell the house right now, it smells so good in here. So while our liquids are infusing, we need to get everything together that we are going to put inside of this soup. And so this could be anything that you want, but for me, I like to put a bunch of mushrooms. We're gonna need some lime juice because we're gonna add some fish sauce to this as it's going, and the lime juice really helps to mask the scent of that fish sauce, so you'll add that at the very end. And then I just love these baby bok choys, so I'm gonna put some of those in there too. So to prep all this, it's literally just grab your mushrooms, we'll cut all the stems straight down, and we'll discard that piece, and look at all of these beautiful specimens right here. That's ready to go. Don't have to do anything else here. With the shiitake mushrooms, I think that the stems are bitter, so I pull them all off, and then I just slice these thin, just like that, and these are gonna go in there. Once we strain the liquid and we add the mushrooms, you're really just gonna wait until all of the mushrooms are cooked, and you're pretty much done at that point. We're just gonna add our last few things to make this soup really pop, one of which is going to be chili oil, and the other one is gonna be chili paste. So the chili paste is gonna give this a great flavor, but not a lot of spice. It's actually kind of crazy because we're gonna put what seems like a ton of chili paste inside of this, but it's really not gonna be super spicy. Like you would think by looking at it, you die, but you won't. You will survive, I promise. And after that, we're good to go. Really, we finish the whole soup off at the very end to give it some creaminess with some coconut cream, of all things. And that just brings a little bit of sweetness to the whole thing, rounds it all out, and then you end up with this hearty, beautiful, umami bomb soup that is Tom Yum. We've eaten this with noodles. We've eaten this without noodles. You can really do it any way that you want to do it. But it is fantastic. And again, it's the cure for all things.